on this video, we're going to learn the distance formula. So the distance d between 2 points with coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2 is given by the formula below. Before I fill in the formula, I just want to make sure that we understand that the 1 that we see here, x1 and y1, stands for x coordinate from point 1, y coordinate from point 1. So it's just letting us know it's point 1. And then same thing with 2. So point 2 and point 2, it's the coordinates from point 2. So we can even see that down here. So here's point 1 and here's point 2. And then they're showing you that this point down here, if we were to connect the triangle, well, it's going to have an x coordinate from point 2 because it's straight down, right? We haven't moved right or left. We're going straight down. And it's going to have a y coordinate from point 1 because we're going straight over from point 1. So the distance formula actually comes from Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so that's why they're showing you this right triangle. So if you haven't watched the videos on Pythagorean theorem, that might be a good idea to watch that because that's where this A, B, C comes from. You can see them marked A, B, C. So we were just doing that for a whole week here where we had A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're using that same idea, but now we're going to use it for the distance formula. And it's been converted so that we don't have to go through and solve as much. It's already put into a formula for us. So the formula, it's x1 minus x2 squared. So we subtract the x's, and y1 minus y2 squared. So we subtract the y's and we square that. And then we add those two answers together. And if we can, we take the square root. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice that. So we have a point 5, -3, and 8, -8, which they've marked for us down here. We can see them in the coordinate plane, and they want the distance between these 2 points, and they want us to round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so we're going to use that distance formula. So I've labeled my coordinates. Here's x1, y1, here's x2, y2. I'm simply just going to plug it in to my formula. Okay, so my x1, well, that was 5. My x2, if I go over here, that is 8. So I have 5 minus 8 so far, and I square that, right? I'm just filling in the formula. I'm not actually calculating anything yet. Now y1, well, that's back over here. That's -3. And then you can see I have a minus already. y2, well, y2 also is negative. That does not take the place of this negative. There's another negative with it. It's minus negative. And if you remember from previous videos and in class, 2 negatives, that's important. Minus negative, that's actually going to become a positive. So for this one, kind of went a little too quick there, but 5 minus 8 is -3. That's where that came from. I'm just simplifying. So now I have my minus negative is going to become a positive. So I have -3 plus 8, and that is 5. So now I can square them. Remember, it doesn't mean -3 times 2. It means -3 times itself 2 times, which means -3 times -3. So I get +9. And then 5 squared, same thing. It's 5 times 5. So I get plus 25. And then 9 plus 25 is 34. So now my last step is to take the square root. So you want to make sure when you're on your calculator that you type in 34 and click square root. Most calculators are going to require you to type it in first and then click square root. So when you do that, you end up with 5.830951 ... Keeps on going. They want us to round to the nearest hundredth. So I go to the second decimal place, that's my hundredth, and I look at the next number. Since that's 4 or less, I just round down to 5.83. So that is how you find the distance using a distance formula. I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next video.